Hello. Hi, everyone. How's it going? Let's play some Vinhos. Let's get some Lacerda on. It's been a long time. Everything working okay? Hi, Matt. Hi, Steve. Let's stomp some grapes. Indeed. I've just set this up, like I always do, just randomly, and how the setup says. And it's just happened that the two regions of the map that you block out in a two-player game, which, the solo simulates a two-player game, are the exact same ones from my old playthrough. So we're not seeing any different regions, but hey, it's what happened. It's what we're sticking with. So yes, we are making wine in Vinhos. This is the 2016 vintage of the game. If you get the deluxe edition, then it comes with both versions. You can get Vinhos, the original version, from What's Your Game, and if you get that, it's a complete game. It's the harder, meatier version of the game, but it's one I'd like to go back to. I haven't played it since that old version. 2016, things were taken out, the bank was taken out, the fair works differently, the way these tiles work is different. Yes, things were tweaked, streamlined, and the 2016 edition was born, and that's the version you play the solo game with. So this is, I think, the first proper official solo mode in a Lacerda game, because this was the first deluxe edition, right? Or was Gallerist the first one and then this one? I don't know, actually. I'm getting them mixed up. Hey, it doesn't matter. It's here now. So the way this works is, there are two decks of cards. One has actions on it, one has numbers on it. The numbers are used a lot, actually, whenever Lacerda needs to make a decision involving a region or a tile to take. He'll draw from these number cards, and these are going to say which actions that he does. And yeah, we're trying to get various accolades. So the thing I like about the Lacerda solo modes is that it's not just about, say, beating Lacerda in points or money and things like that. It's a bit of everything. So Gallerist has those tiers of things to get. It has you want so many things sold. You want this amount of prestige. That all works beautifully, but in this game we are trying to get accolades. So we get accolades for things like beating Lacerda in points, having more money than Lacerda, beating them in a fair is an accolade each. There are going to be 3 fairs in the game. Filling up your regions is one. There's various ways we can earn these accolades. I think last time I watched my old playthrough to refresh myself on Vinhos, because I don't know if I've played it since then. Maybe, I'm sure Rach and I have played the 2016 version together. But yeah, not many times, certainly since then. And yeah, if I say so myself, good playthrough. It refreshed me right up on it. And hopefully we can aim for that top ranking. I got the second best ranking last time. So with your help, we can take this to the top, be the best winemakers around. So yeah, everything's. Oh yeah, I should read the bit that says everything's working okay before I ramble on for ages. Hey Jeff, Lacerda's back. I actually saw I just saw a post about someone playing the Gallerist on Instagram and really got a hankering for playing some Gallerist. I did do that last year, but hey, things time passes, doesn't it? There are a lot of games. You don't know much about this one, James. It's a lot heavier than Viticulture. I don't know actually where Viticulture stands once you kind of turn all of Tuscany on, because I've never done that. I've only done bits of Tuscany. Although looking forward to the expansion, the co-op expansion for Viticulture is on its way in the near future. Can't wait for that. And yeah, as I said, this is a lot easier to get into, a lot easier to teach and be taught than the 2010 version. But it's still got a lot of the heart and the flavour. But yeah, I would like to play that original edition again. I really liked the bank. When you earned money in it, your money went to the bank rather than you, and there was an action to actually go there and invest your money in various things or get loans. See, I can't quite remember because, like I say, it's been years. But you can, if you get this deluxe edition, the other side of the board is the original version. So, Steve, is bot still? I don't know if the chat bot is ever coming back. Thanks though, Steve. Hey, Heavy Cardboard, how's it going? Yes, like and subscribe, please. And we'll talk more about this in tonight's stream. We're going to do a stream at 8 o'clock, and Rach will be joining me when she is back home from work, and we're going to do a little Q&A if you'd like to join us for that, anyone, because today is the 6th anniversary of these videos and things. Oh, and look who's actually been joining us. Marty is here, but I'll turn his camera on when he's when he's a bit more presentable. Hey Jamie, oh, you've been getting hooked on Kanban EV. Well, all the solo modes actually work fairly differently in all of Vital's games, and the games themselves work very differently, right? So let's get into it. There are a couple of bits of setup to do. We pick a vineyard to start with. We pick one of these initial magnate tiles to start with. And Lacerda is going to get things as well. Lacerda starts with one each of these wine experts. And yeah, let's get into it. So last time I went for, if we zoom in on the regions, and again, I've got no better about my pronunciations of anything. Although someone advised me in the comments, I brushed up on the comments too, to see if I got anything wrong last time, that the Portuguese J is just J. You don't do it like an H like Spanish. So I'll try and keep that in mind. So I went for region 1, Tras os Montes, because this region, wine from this region, does better in fairs. This symbol here is fair points. So if you submit a wine from this region to the fair, automatically gets 2 extra points, no matter the quality. Minho, you can't put cellars in it, but it's very cheap to get more fields there, to get more vineyards. Douro, you get 2 of these Porto tokens, and I'll say that this is the deluxe edition of the game, but also there were a load of little extras, little expansions included in the Kickstarter and stuff. I didn't back the Kickstarter, but I think this is a Kickstarter edition, so there are tokens that look just like this. But it came with these lovely like wine tokens and stuff that you can use. And there are expansions that, yeah, I've never tried those. I'm not sure if they're compatible with solo or not. Let me know if you play with the extra regions and stuff. So if we go for Douro, we get 2 of these Porto tokens, and we can choose to spend Porto tokens when we produce wines from here, and they are 3 better than they otherwise would be. Dow, you get a free cellar, and that helps your wine last longer. I think we go south now. Rubatejo gives you a free farmer, makes your wines better. Lisboa gives you a free winery, makes your wines better. And you can get the enologists. It's enologists, right? Let's use the proper terminology for everything. Who make your wines even better. And then Alentejo means that when you spend renown cubes, the wines get 2 better, but for selling and exporting, right, rather than in the fairs itself. Because yeah, there's a load of things to do in this game. We will be competing to have the best wines at wine fairs 3 times throughout the game. We will be selling wines to earn money. We will be exporting them for points. Trying to impress the judges at the fairs as well. Even if you don't win, you want to impress the judges based on their different criteria, because you can get more of these barrels that are useful for everything. You can sell more wines, you can export more, you can have more of these multiplier tokens that we get later on in the game that give you loads of points. It's a Vital Lacerda game. There's, as you might imagine, there's a lot going on in here. And hopefully we're going to crack it. So I did have... I went for the one that was better on fair points last time, but there were a few comments, and I've heard a lot about this Douro region that I don't think I even went into last time. So shall we try to start off in that region? Because you do get it for free as well, so it kind of benefits you to go for a more expensive region early on, although if you do want to get extra vineyards in that region later on, it's going to be pricier, isn't it? Because you've gone for the expensive one. But I think, yeah, let's go for Douro. So we take this for free at the start of the game, and it goes in our first region. And then the marker from this region goes onto the map that connects to Douro there. And I get 2 of these lovely Porto tokens that I can spend when I'm producing wine, which includes now. So right now, I produce a wine that would always be value 2 at the start of the game, right? If we come in on my player board here, it tells you the base wine of this region is 2. Later on, when we produce at the end of years, weather tiles and things are going to make a difference to what you produce, but you just produce 2. But I could spend that 3, right? And I would discard one of these Portos, but I would start off with a 5 wine. The Portos are lovely, but the stickers could be a bit stickier. I need to get some glue or something on them. So that could be something good to start with, and I've got a bit of a better wine. Why not? Let's make some use out of them. Of course, it's probably better later you could make the most prestigious wines, but I'm going to start myself off with a 5 instead of a 2. And you know it's red because the icon's red at the top. So that's my starting one. And I get, don't forget all of the things where you put the renown cubes. These wooden cubes here are renown cubes, and they are added to the regions for various things, like buying the vineyards and recruiting various people, building wineries. All put cubes in these regions, but they can be spent to increase the value of the wine at various points when submitting it to the fair, when selling it. But anybody can spend them. So your timing's got to be good in this, because Lacerda 2 is going to spend cubes, and he likes to spend them from regions that I am interested in, of course, to hold me back a bit. So I take this thing, yep, done all the region renown cubes, and then we each take a magnate tile. We come up here to the corner here. So it's in reverse player order. So Lacerda's going to get first pick. So when Lacerda needs to pick one of these tiles, we shuffle his number cards, and they are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If he draws a number higher than 6, you just ignore it. 1, he's going to take this one. So magnate tiles can be used. You can use one of these or a wine expert tile on one of your turns. And they can give you things. They can let you buy things for certain amounts that might be different to the amounts they cost when you take the action to get them. And it saves you an action kind of as well. So this would be an export the wines action that you would get to do for 1 or 2 wines. Lacerda's taken that though. Just takes those out of the game. It doesn't actually do anything with these things. Later on, when the multiplier tiles come out into this same section, he does earn points from those. Every time you use the number deck, you don't look at it while you're shuffling it. I've got the one upside down, that's what's confused things. Every time you use the number deck for a decision, you shuffle it. When you use the action deck to find out what action he's taking, you don't shuffle that until a certain time, until the fair. So we got a choice of the rest of these things. So we can take, this is get a farmer, 1 farmer, but for 1 money. Usually when you take the action, you buy enologists and farmers. You can buy up to 2 of them. Enologists cost 3, farmers cost 2. So cheaper, you only get 1. It didn't take you an action, so that's all right. Get a winery for 1 cheaper, and you put a renown in that region. Oh, that's buy a vineyard. That's not a winery, that's a vineyard. For 1 less than it would normally cost, and get a renown in that region, you get in a vineyard. That's kind of tempting, because I have started off in a bit of an expensive region, haven't I? Although, something to note, if I buy another vineyard in Douro right now, well, not right now, but you know, when I'm allowed to, you can't mix and match the grapes in the same estate. So I could buy this, but it is going to have to start its own estate off, where I'd be making white wine, or white port. So that's something to think of. And these do refresh as well, so I'd get to use them, you know, a few times. Get an enologist for 2, normally they cost 3. Get a wine expert for free, normally they cost 1. And get a cellar for 1. So keep your wine for longer, normally they cost 3. So that's kind of the heftiest discount. You do get to get 2 of them when you go normally, but they cost 3 each. So everything basically makes your wine better, or makes your performance better, like whatever you do. Because sometimes you might take suboptimal actions to get rid of your wine rather than have it spoil. So cellars are even, you know, will improve your wine in that way. Because if we look at the player board, you've only got 2 spaces here. So at the end of the round, this will slide along. And if it's here and it slides along, gone, wasted. So sometimes you're like, oh, I haven't really got anything to sell, but I'll take the sell action because at least I'll get something rather than waste this wine. So yeah, there's a load of things that we could be doing. Yeah, story time with Rach at 8 o'clock. Catch up in case I've missed anything or said anything wrong. I have a college think 2010 is better as well. I think, yeah, I've forgotten too much about it at this point and really want to get back. Yeah, like this is the, again, I think Galeris might have come first, right? But all of the Eagle Griffin Deluxe Editions, it is like, you couldn't get the game much more lavish than this. I thought that they wouldn't look as good from above, but another extra is these wooden wineries that you can get instead of these tiles here. And yeah, it makes the game a load more expensive because the second-hand copies of the original edition, I think about £30, and to get this, especially with like the little expansion extras and stuff, you're looking at over £100. So yeah, it's 3-4 times the cost of the game. It is beautiful and is like the most, I don't want to say complete, because the original version is complete. If you just buy that, you've got an amazing game. But yeah, it's pretty much expanded and got all the additions that you could possibly think of. And I say this before, like, I'm sure in the future, maybe there's going to be some kind of expansion Kickstarter, and then it won't be complete. But hey, who knows what the future holds. So yes, what should we start with? I didn't do cellars last time either. I do like that. Now getting a vineyard, it's not an action, and I could just start a completely different region and get a really cheap one. Get the one that comes with a free cellar. Why not? Or the one that I can boost more easily. The one that would do better in fairs. Filling up these things is good. But everything as well is finite. There are a certain number of the regions of all of these tiles basically, and meeples. There is a certain number for a 2-player game, so everything is limited really, and it depends what Lacerda's going to do, because yeah, he might not be interested in getting a load of farmers, and there's no rush for them, but yeah, it could go the other way. I feel like though, torn between getting another vineyard and another cellar, and the wines in the cellars do get better when they are used for the selling. So not in terms of the fair, but yeah, if you look at the, make sure I'm pressing the right button, they are more prestigious when you are perhaps exporting them. So this could make, I could buy a cellar and put it with the Porto and do some really nice exports with that. If I let the wine kind of mature a bit, that could be something to do. So the wines do transfer right over. Whatever I do. Yeah, it is lovely once you've laid it all out on the table. I think let's get cheap cellars. Let's just go for something. I'm going to do that. So, we've had our setup. We refill with things that are going to be available after the first wine fair. And then it's turn time. I've done all of the setup things now, right? See, got my little notes in front of me, making sure I'm not missing things. Oh yes, Martycam. There he is. He's decent now. So, the action phase. Let's zoom in on... I bet I haven't got a nice, just middle shot, have I? Of the actions, because I've split the table up. Whoops! Okay, don't press that button. That button's not set up properly. We can look at the whole board, and that zooms us in a little bit. Why didn't that button work? Which button did I press that took me to the completely wrong place? Ah, okay. There we go. I fixed the bad button. So yes, this is the action grid here. We start out in the middle, which is the pass action. But you can go basically one space, orthogonally, diagonally, for free, as long as no one's in the space. And so at the start of the game, every action is your oyster. But if the year marker is in that space, it costs you a money to the bank, basically. If Lacerda is in the space you want to go to, you have to pay him a money. And same, if he comes to your space, he pays you a money. Lacerda, actually, as he leaves things behind in the Gallerist too, when he moves around, he leaves money behind on the board. And if you move into spaces he has previously been, you have to pay the banker money for that too. Oh yeah, you don't pay him the money, it always goes to the bank. But yeah, it's... And as well, if the space you want to go to isn't adjacent, so if I wanted to go from this bottom corner here to anywhere in the top row, basically, all the way up here, I have to pay a money for the space that I'm skipping over as well. So you can get to do what you want, but the costs could really mount up. I do have 19 money because I'm the start player. So what would we like to do? We've got some really nice wines and things. I can use my cellar action to get myself a nice cellar, so I don't really have to worry about that, especially since doing the action you can buy 2 of them. And so maybe I'd like to get set up with another vineyard before I want to get into that. We might want to buy more things in Douro to uncover the red wine tile that's inevitably under there. There are 2 of each, I think, right, for each region. Or we could just start off with something completely different. You know, the Lisboa one does get you a free winery, and then we can start hiring people to go in these places. And if that does kind of put us in a corner though. We could then go to hiring wine experts and stuff. But I would like to, if I get the place with a free winery, I would like to then start hiring people. But that's, it doesn't work together that well. Oh, there is a vineyards action down here, actually, that wouldn't cost me anything. That's quite nice. I'm going to go for that. I have to be wary of spending all of my money very early on. But yeah, I'm going to go for wineries. And I've kind of taught myself into Lisboa. It's another region that's kind of expensive, though. So this is 5 money to get this new vineyard. I pop it in a new estate. Pay my 5, and my disc goes out in Lisboa, and it comes with a free winery. Pop it on the red side. So the winery in itself adds 1 to the value of all the wines that are produced here. An enologist would add 2 further, and I can have one now that I've got a space for them to go to. So that's 1 winery. Your restriction here too is that they have to come from different regions. So I made this mistake in the old playthrough. I couldn't buy one from Douro, uncover a red one, and then, jackpot, buy that one. Do I want to buy that one, though, to uncover kind of the other colour, so I could match them up and make them more powerful? It's another costly thing. Or I could start in another region and manipulate all of these things. The wine produced, it is there are thunderstorms at the moment. The wines produced are going to be 2 worse than normal at the end of this year, unfortunately. We could go for the really cheap region that we just can't have cellars in. Might work against my get cellars really nice and cheap. I think we might find ourselves short on money if I keep going really expensive, but I'm going to go for Douro, a white wine. I have uncovered the red wine I was after, so my disc doesn't go anywhere because I've already got one for Douro. Cost me another 5 mighty bucks gone. But But I have. Make sure you've done all of the things when you get the vineyards. Yeah, take the top one, pay the price, place in your estate, and put renown cubes out. So I've got another renown cube Enduro now. There is, of course, you can see at the bottom here, a lovely menu, as there is with the deluxe editions, that fully explain every bit of the actions that you're taking. And this it folds out because this is for the 2016 version. This is for the 2010 version that you can play, because it's all compatible. So that's my first action, and a little quirk of this is that you actually take both of your actions in one go. You don't alternate like you normally would and do, everyone does a first action, everyone does their second action. You actually take both of your actions, and then Lacerda is going to take 2 actions. Or it's random who goes first. He might have taken both. And then you get to kind of decide a little bit. So I'm going to stick with the plan and hire some people. Make my wines a little bit better. I think so, because it's kind of where I am. It's now like getting a bit worrying how much money I've spent. Or we could go to selling that lovely 5 wine and earn some money back, but you can sell 2 things. I've got 2 barrels. Might be worth waiting for that. Yeah, let's hire some people. So it's 3 for an enologist, 2 for a farmer. I can hire 2 people. I think it would make sense, especially while things are getting a bit rough and dry out there. Well, not dry, there are thunderstorms. I'm going to hire 1 of each. So the farmers go on the vineyards and increase the wine by 1. I think I'm going to put them both out in my Lisboa grapes and boost that a little bit. I think that'll be okay. Hire these, place them in the things. Yes, I've done all of the steps there. So now, we're going to find out what Lacerda does. So we've got these decks. Lacerda is going to hire people, which isn't great in the way that he's going to get rid of things. And when he comes to this action, he discards 2 of each. There are only 7 enologists in the game, so they're just gone. And he does have to pay me, though. I take a money from the bank because he's coming to the space that I'm at. He doesn't leave money, by the way, in the pass space, because that's kind of a last resort space as well. It would be harsh to penalise you for going there. So that's his first action. We don't need to draw a card for him there. He discards that, and his second action is going to be, the wine mark should be there. His second action is going to be sales. So he comes around and he leaves a money behind. I will actually use the actual money tokens because they are beautiful too. But yeah, the Monty books might kind of obscure the action completely. So, unfortunately, when Lacerda sells, first of all, he takes 2 renown cubes from your best region. And they're gone. Oh, do you know what I should have done? I could have done it at any point. Let's do a quick... It wouldn't be a playthrough without a take-backsies, would it? I don't get this back at all, so I don't think it would make any difference if I did it next turn. But while I'm thinking about it, let's buy that cheap seller. Yeah, I'll buy it for Porto. Why not? So that would cost me another 1 from my special magnate tile. So they remove the 2 cubes from my region with the most cubes. And then they draw number cards until they have a region that's greater than 2. This is because the selling section down here, you have to sell at least a 3 wine to them. So 7, we take 1 of their barrels and they put it in a 7 slot. Which wine do they sell? We look at the tile that's on top here with the weather and everything. We look at the preference of one of the judges, and Annabelle here wants white wines. That tempts Lacerda to sell a white wine. And so he basically covers up that slot and he earns 7 money. And this is where have more money than Lacerda comes in. because he's now got 7. And then repeat again to place and score a second barrel. So he is going to take from Lisboa, basically. Where have I put those number cards? You know, a player could come here twice as well. So does Lacerda. He sells a 3, so at least it's a bit cheaper this time. We know it's white. He just earns 3. But he's basically... Oh, actually, putting that cellar in Douro would have put a renown cube in. So I've still got 1 in there. So that's not too bad. I've still got 1 about. But yeah, he's cleared out most of my renown cubes, which is annoying, isn't it? But hey, that's Lacerda getting in my way. He's placed a couple of barrels. Lacerda, by the way, starts the game with a couple of barrels in the export location. Starts the game with all of his barrels in his supply. I don't have that yet. Okay. So yeah, we go on to maintenance. So in the maintenance phase, we advance the year taxation marker into the B space. Lacerda takes back his lowest valued barrel from the sales area. And I can take one back as well. Well, I didn't sell any wines. I haven't sold any at all yet. And then we move to the production phase. So all of your wine ages to the next slot along. And you can choose to reassign your farmers and enologists around based on what things are going to produce, really. And then we are going to produce wines in all of our estates that has a vineyard, basically. So... at the moment, I would not produce a wine here. Oh, I should have 2 more Porto tokens, shouldn't I? Because I got a new winery over here. So I can produce a 3 if I spend another Porto. Same story over here, because I've got nothing boosting it. I think, yeah, it's been a bad year. We're getting through this port, aren't we? Glugging it down. I'm going to spend both of those, basically, for these regions. So, there's a 3. There's a 3. It is boosted, of course, by the cellar as well. And over here, it would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, minus 2. So we make a nice 4 red with our Lisboa grapes as well. So that's not too shabby. Yep, got all of these things. We move on to the second year. So each of these spaces is a year. And nobody changed their player order, so we can continue. Hey, Hexybix, how's it going? The other wine game. The rough wine game. Right. So, new action for me. I don't want to pay any money to take an action because I've only got 4 money. Having said that, coming to sell the wines is always going to cost me money, whether he's still there or not. He leaves his money behind. So knowing that I only have 4 money, do I want to sell some wines and then we could get some more wineries or something next turn? Because there is a lovely red Douro out there. Oh, the weather, actually. We need to see the new weather tile. Oh, it is sunny and beautiful this year. Our wines are all better. I could make some incredibly good Douro. Now, of course, I'm kind of loath to sell this until it moves up in my cellar, because selling or exporting these wines, they get +3 or +5 if I wait until here. So I could sell these and still make a nice 7 money. Yeah, that's what it is, isn't it? 7 money is nice. And that's as good as you could say about it, really. even selling these now, it would be a nice 6 there. I think go and sell the bad ones and get some good wineries, and that'll be the end of this year. But then I'll be really short on money next time. Maybe don't buy wineries, right? But if I buy the wineries, I'll have brilliant things to sell or export. Oh, it's so hard. The button's working now. Go with your gut. Sell things. So I need to pay a money because Lacerda is there. It's frustrating as well because yeah, he's still going to leave a money behind for the future. And I'm going to sell. So you need your barrels for this. I'll start the game with 2. Make sure I'm doing all of my phases as well for selling things. So I can just sell 1, but I want 2. I do have a cube in Douro that I can use if I sell that wine, but yeah, I didn't want to do that, did I? Do I actually? I think actually, because he used those cubes, he should have 2 more money, and his cube should have been there. And he did spend 1 money. He would spend 1 of my renown cubes, didn't he? So he should have had a bit more money for that. I could spend the renown cube from Douro to boost this wine, so they would both be 4s. Yeah, let's sell a 4 of each. Use that renown cube because Lacerda might be using it fairly soon. And so I will get 8 money, which is not too bad, is it? I've got 11. And then next time, we'll see. And of course, this is not so great because we know Lacerda has done these 2 things. He's not coming back here. There's no chance that he's going to give me any money for this. And what's more, he's going to go to a new space and make that more expensive, which could very well be the space I wanted to go to. Right. I would like some wine experts. Like, one of the things that you can do, it's a bit too late now. It's loads too late. You can pass and basically get further up the turn order or ensure you're first next time. And when you pass, you can submit a wine. Now, if we get to the wine fair and you haven't submitted one yet, you get to do it for free. So you don't have to take this action. But you could do it now to take advantage of the mood the judges are in right now and the experts that you can give away, spend to get loads of fair points. Lacerda might take that action too, and we can kind of see then he plays his hand and we can see how good he's doing in the fair. So what's the other action going to be? We can end up... so we can still end up somewhere he might go. So I was going to just go straight back to wineries. He hasn't been there yet. And just go for a really cheap one with my second winery purchase. Vineyard. I say the wrong name for everything constantly, aren't I? And I'll get renown cubes for Lacerda to spend. Right, I'm definitely spending 5 on another Douro. There's another +2. There's another 2. Oh, you can see the labels unwrapping. Yeah, another 2 for that. Another Douro, closer to filling up that region. Another renown cube goes out onto the board. So now I want to be cheap. Minho, very cheap. Can't put sellers there. Is the only bad thing. All the 4s. Better at the fairs. Alentejo. Spend... every cube that you spend boosts the wine by 2 when you are selling it or exporting it. Using barrel things, basically. I'm just checking on something. Hey, South Korea. Oh, no, you're not South Korea. Hello to South Korea. And hey, Sean. Thought of passing on your dollar back of weather machine, but it's really changing your mind. I hope you enjoy it. Are you into other? Which Lacerdas are your favourites? I just want to make sure that I'm saying the right thing about the various regions. Each renowned cube is worth 2 instead of 1. You can still use up to 2 cubes. So that tempts me. It's just, what's my action going to be next time? Sell that Alentejo for... I'll only have 1 barrel though, because I didn't present a wine. Well, what if you present a wine next time and make it one of the really good Porto wines from your cellar? Do they really care about that? Marty bucks are about. Yeah, this wine is going to be +3 next time. So this is going to be 8. Everything I've said about it, only for producing and stuff, was wrong. It's just that the wine is better. It doesn't use a specific symbol for the fair. That means only the fair points, but the other symbol is for all purposes. Yeah, I'm splitting off into all these different regions, but yeah, the cubes being worth more. Go for Alentejo. Get another disc in a region. And, oh yeah, I've already had red. So, renowned cube in there. Most of my money spent. Actually, if I did next time pass to present the wine and then sell or export, I could make some more money back then, because I'm going to make a load of wine at the end of this year, aren't I? So I'm kind of making more wines rather than better wines, so I don't know if that's going to help me out. Okay, Lacerda, what's he going to do? He is going to this space down here, which is very nice. It tells you which one on the grid, which means he gives me our money. And, of course, it's not so good what he does. So he is going to draw 2 number cards, because he has to go to different regions as well. 6 is in the game. 2 is in the game. Discard the top 1 from each region, so I'm not getting that Douro one, and I'm not getting the Lisboa one. So, okay, the other red Lisboa is at the bottom. You don't necessarily have to have both of the things. And then add a renown cube to each region, which, you know, if I'm going to be presenting that Douro next time, that could be quite nice for me. That was his first action. And then his second action is going to be going to the wineries. Where is he? There. So he's leaving behind. Yeah, leaving behind a buck. And then you need to shuffle these anyway, but he's gonna. Ooh. Oh, not quite as lucky with the numbers. He discards 2 wineries. These wineries, by the way, are double-sided. There are 11 in the game. He's just bought 2 of them. But, again, he is putting renown cubes out in these regions. You can only use 2 at a time. But if I submit a wine from Douro, that could be really nice at the fair. So I think I'd probably do that next time. So that's his 2 actions. He was on sell, wasn't he? He should have left a money behind there too. Yeah, the grid's filling up with his cash. You know, it's my latest crypto is Marty Bucks. Unfortunately, Marty's the CFO. It's not going too well. Right. So we go to maintenance. I choose which barrel to take back, right? Yeah, I choose. Lacerda takes back his lowest, but he's only got one there. And then... So what am I going to sell? You know, this, unless I boost it, is going to be a 4 white. This, unless I boost it, it's going to be a 4 red, but I'll probably boost it with a cube. I'll probably boost either of them with a cube. I don't think I really mind which one I take back. I'm just wishing that I could take both back. Yep, and then production phase. We age our wines and then reassign. I know with reassigning I could make a really nice thing. You know, put them on here and spend a Porto. 2, 4. Oh, I couldn't transfer the enologist. I could transfer the farmer. That would make a 5, 7. It would make a 10 if I spend a Porto. And this one at the moment is going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it'd still be a 5 if I take him off. And we could sell that Porto with 2 of the cubes. Yeah, I'm gonna move the farmer along. I've got space actually for a couple more farmers. I'd like to buy one. Yeah, I'm going to reassign, and then we produce wine. So I'm going to spend a Porto here. And no more Porto is coming in as well. Bear that in mind for the rest of the game, because all of the vineyards have been bought. But still, I'm going to spend one now because that means I produce a 10. 6, 7, 8, and then plus 2 from the weather. Down here, we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 from the weather makes this a red 7. Do I want to... I probably don't want to spend a Porto here. I'm fine with that just being a 4, I think. Well, you know, we need at least a 7 to export. Yeah, I just don't want to spend them all now. Of course, spending them now means they're decent, and then later on you'll have hopefully have boosted the estates enough for you to not need Porto tokens. And down here, we just produce a 4 as well. But we have got cubes in the regions too, to make selling them a bit more worth it. That should be red. Yeah. Okay, so that's produce all of my wines, do all of that stuff. We've done the second year, and so we move on to actions in the third year. And I was thinking, wasn't I, of submitting a wine. And do you know what, though? Now that I've made this 10, which is still on +1 where it is in the cellar, it's better than the 8, isn't it? I can still spend the cubes. Of course, you know, the argument is, if I leave the 10 to mature to that +5 space, then it'll be incredible when it comes time to spend it. Oh, we need a new tile, though, that tells us things. This is going to help decide everything. So, Douro is not good to submit right now. Okay, so if we have a look at the whole board, if I want to get barrels, at what point exactly does the yes, in maintenance, does the weather tile change? Just at the start of the new year, it does that. So it would, even if I wait to do the press release, it's going to be this expert. It's going to be this tile with the criteria for the judges. So when I submit the wine, I get fair points and stuff for the value of the wine itself. And I can discard experts to make it better. I haven't got any, though, and I'm kind of far away from that space. But you can see what the judges are after. And they're after a white wine of value 9 or more from regions 1, 5, 7 or 9. Now, you don't need to satisfy all 3 judges because you can only take a barrel from up to 2 judges anyway. So you can satisfy them all, but it doesn't really matter. So I would basically satisfy, it would be from region 3, so I don't satisfy Carolina. It's red, so I don't satisfy Annabella. I would just satisfy Bruno. So can I take both from one magnate? No, for each magnate satisfied, you can take 1 barrel, up to 2. So submitting something else, and this doesn't help with the regions that aren't in the game actually, because region 1, 5, 7 and 9 are out of the game, and I don't have anything from region 1 or 5. So C cannot be done. Unfortunately, it's too late now, but I wish that I had boosted this with a Porto, because it would have then been 7, and I could have spent 2 cubes to make it a 9. As it is, though, I don't think I can get all of my barrels then, this game. Because I think that is one of the accolades. You can get, max score is 1 less than, well, the top ranking is 1 less than the maximum possible score. So I could still do that and then still get the top ranking, but I would have to do great and everything else. But I don't think there's anything I can do to get both of my barrels this time. Now, this is the advantage as well of submitting wines earlier when an expert, like last time, in the first round, you would have only needed a 4 value wine to impress Bruno. And it could have come from region 3. So I could have done that 5 wine I started the game with. I could have taken my second action maybe as submitting it to the fair. Probably not gotten a lot of fair points, but I could have gotten both of the barrels earlier on. The black component, the Porto bottles, they come with one of the Kickstarter mini expansions. I think you can buy them all separately. But yeah, the game does just come with cardboard tokens that look like this square +3. But one of the Kickstarter upgrades comes with the little rack and the black port bottles with stickers that are just not sticky enough. They still look lovely though. So yeah, we can submit a nice wine, but not nice enough. And Lacerda, whether he takes the action or not, he gets to submit something for free like everybody does. Everybody has to put something into the fair. He submits one based on what Bruno is after. So he submits a value 9 wine. And then gets other bonuses and things. Do you know what? It's still sunny. We'll still make a nice wine. I'm going to come and pass. And you can either do nothing else or do a press release. I'm going to declare this lovely 10 port out here. Wish I'd boosted that. But yeah, can't take that back because we have more information now. I can spend 2 cubes to boost. So it's 10, 11 because of my cellar. I can spend up to 2 cubes, so 12, 13 is the value of the wine I'm submitting to the fair. So my fair points go to 13 for the value of the wine. And I can move my disc here to an empty booth and claim one of these rewards. Now this is going to determine player order in the fair for picking these tiles. But Lacerda will always take this. So with the 9 and the 3, he'll get 12 fair points. So I think I would still win the fair. Oh, but then he gets to discard, if we look at the weather tile, if I had these experts, if I'd had some more foresight and gotten some, you can discard a green for 3 more fair points and a blue for 1 more fair point. He's got all of the colours, so he can only submit 1 of each type and he won't waste them. So he would get another 4 from them. So it would be 9, 13, 16 if I leave that space for him, and he would win. So I think I have to take this, because then I will have 16 and he'll have 13. I would love the money, because I'm very short on money right now, but I think this is the way to go. Yeah, it's what I'm doing. So that was my first action. Just pass and submit that token. I can't discard any experts. Oh, and so it was red, so A's not interested. It was from the wrong region, so C's not interested. But I can take a barrel from Bruno. Is it definitely not? I think my notes might be just written a bit incorrectly. Yeah, 1 each from different magnates, yes. Only get the 1 barrel. But if I wanted to sell now, that's better, isn't it? It's more money than I would have gotten from just taking the action and only being able to sell 1 of them. Am I going to sell then? I could export. Is that Alentejo down here? Maybe I should have as well bought a vineyard for white wine. It's because I've got 3 reds and just the 1 white. Getting a winery is going to let me hire more people later, but he is there and I don't have any money. So that's not going to be anytime soon. Exporting wines helps out, because exporting these wines, they have to be these values on the spaces you put in your barrel. And can you see this highlighted area here? This is the 2-player area. We ignore all of the outside bit here when we're playing 2 players. So you have to submit a wine of at least that value, but you get that many points. And then at the end of the game, there is column majority, and the winner gets these points at the top. Split if you're tied. So right now I could submit that 5 port that I've got, that's got a +3 on it, so that would be 8. Spend a cube to make it a 9, and just earn me some points. Or selling, I could sell my 4 from Alentejo for basically 6 money, and then maybe sell my 7 that I had, because I'll be making another. The 7 Lisboa that I had, and that would be a nice 13. And there's 2 cubes in Lisboa. I think, yeah, we'll sell. Unfortunately, we've got to pay another money. But, and it means we're not in a space that Lacerda's come into. But yeah, I'm going to do those things. So, use the 1 cube from Alentejo, and it adds 2 to the value, because that's the region's power. So it becomes a 6 red, and I get 6 money. And then sell this 7 from Lisboa, and use both of these renown cubes, because I feel like Lacerda's going to spend them if I don't. And then we're keeping this nice wine in the cellars. We'll have to do something with it next time. But maybe the first action next time is just going to be passing and submitting a lovely, nice red that the judges want. We don't know what the next tile's going to be. So this is going to be 7, 8, 9. Also red. So I've got a nice bit of cash now. Still no wine experts or anything there. I could do that next time. So that's my 2 actions. We'll see what Lacerda does. And his actions are going to be export. We don't like that. We don't like him exporting. So when he exports, he's going to take 2 cubes from the region I like the most. I've only got 1 in Douro. So place 1 of his barrels in the export area in the highest value space still available. And he's just earned himself 11 points. He starts the game, because he's on these spaces, he starts the game with 19 points. So he's just earned another 11, taking him to 30 points. And yeah, I could have done some exporting. I couldn't have gotten to 11 though and gone in that space. And yeah, give him those points. And he does that again to score a second barrel. So unfortunately, he can't spend any cubes because there aren't any. But yeah, he's put in another one out, and that's 40 points. But we are going to have a wine fair now. So in the maintenance phase, he hasn't got any barrels here. I can take one back. Now, we might end up selling this, but it'll be more than 9 anyway. I'll take this red 6 barrel back, I think. You only get 1. And then we still have a production phase. So your wine ages. Got to do something with this wine next time. So we might be exporting next. But he's in the way. Always in the way. Because, yeah, we've got 2 wines right now that are on the verge of being lost. But I will get my magnate tile back after the fair. So I could put a cellar here, and that would be okay. We just got to hope that we could submit this wine to the fair. Yeah, and everything will be grand. Okay. So yes, reassign. We've got +2 on the weather again. Do I want to reassign? We could just put the farmer here, and then we would be making a 3-5. So we've got a nice white wine to maybe submit. Yeah, I think so. I don't want to spend both, but this is my only white wine. So 2, 3, 6, and then 2 from the weather makes a nice white 8. I can grab an 8. I can't really see them from here. Over here, it's 2, 3, 4, 5, plus the weather, 7. 2, 4, plus the weather is 6. Do I want to spend that last port? I don't think I want to spend the last one. And it will be boosted over the years in my cellar. And over here, it's just going to be 4. Yep, done all of these things. And it's time for the fair phase. So, anyone who hasn't done a press release now needs to do one. So Lacerda basically submits a wine based on Bruno's value. He submits a 9 value wine. He will take 2 cubes from the regions. There are no cubes anywhere. Then he will try and take this. If it's already claimed, he will go for the 3 money, and he takes the 3 money. Then he discards wine experts, so you can discard a green for 3 more fair points and a blue for 1, which he does. Make sure they're nowhere near my tile. Yep. So that's his press release done. So yeah, again, you do get to do it for free. You don't have to go and take that pass action to do it. But yeah, I don't know why I did it now. But I did want to get in there early. And Lacerda might have taken that action, and then he would have taken the +3 and been ahead. So yeah, it's not all a waste. He didn't end up taking that action, but we couldn't have known that. Okay, so we've done the press release, and now we look at our fair points, which accumulate, by the way. They don't reset every year. And so in the first fair, we ignore the value here. Which button is it? That button. We ignore the middle value in a 2-player game. So I get 9 points, my first 9, for winning, and Lacerda gets 3 points. Doing all of this. The order of play is based on the order in the booths, so I'm paying the price for taking those 3 fair points. I'm going second now. And we get our discs back over here, and we buy things in alternating order until we pass. Oh, this might be where I get rid of the wine, actually. So we need number cards. I think like Kanban and Weather Machine are like completely different things because they are David Tortzi and Nick Shaw, right? And so they are kind of David's whole thing is try and make it emulate a real opponent as much as possible. Whereas like there's more to know in this than say the Gallerist. The Gallerist is always my favourite because there is nothing really to know about that solo opponent. There's a little bit of which tile does he take when he does the take a scoring tile action. But that's like every 4 actions. All he does is move 1 space clockwise and leave an assistant behind. And such a simple system like that still gives you a lot to think about with your kicked out actions and whether you're getting rid of tickets and speeding along the game and stuff. But there is no upkeep at all, and the game is still lovely and rich playing solo in that way. Whereas this is more complex, of course, not on the level of like On Mars. The On Mars normal solo mode, not the expansion one that I much preferred. The normal solo mode, like the game kind of, was really hard for me to get my head around and how to do well in it. That might just be because, yeah, the game is so heavy. The expansion version of it made it a lot more accessible for me anyway. What am I missing out on? Oh yeah, Escape Plan solo mode is like moving around regions and getting in your way as well. Being on spaces, that's probably a little bit simpler than this. But yeah, the Lisboa one is actually, I'd had it in my head kind of that this was just, you draw a card and he takes up a space and gets in your way, but there's a lot more to it than that. Like I say, it's been a few years since I played this. Because yeah, again, I haven't played it. I don't think I've played Viticulture solo with a load of Tuscany stuff on, so I can't speak for what the Automa might do with all of that involved. But in Viticulture's most basic form, the Automa, right, is just taking up worker placement spots. Well, it still gives you stuff to work around and that. But yeah, the game is kind of generally left open to you. And I know, like, that kind of contradicts what I just said about the Gallerist, but I guess the Gallerist is such a heavy game anyway. Being free to just think about your own stuff is good enough. So, Lacerda is going to take a Magnate tile. So we turn over a number card and take the matching tile. He can't take a 7, there isn't a 7. 6, he takes this one away. So being able to get wineries as an extra thing, that's just gone. I spend a wine basically to take one of these things. So I kind of think I definitely want one. You can get multiple. I will spend this 4 that's going out of the game anyway, and it's not a particularly great wine. What do we want to claim? So just spend to get 2 fair points. Nice. Homer Enologist, just get a wine expert for free, and I haven't been going over there a lot, have I? That could have really helped me. The wine experts can be used as actions as well. You don't have to discard them for their fair points. They kind of work like the magnate actions. They aren't as powerful actions, although depending on your situation, they might be. Get more wineries and get them for cheaper might help me fill up my regions more. Antejo's the wrong colour. Lisboa's the wrong colour. And I can only have one more new estate. So the getting the wineries kind of depends on what Lacerda's going to do. Getting more enologists isn't great because it doesn't inherently give me the ability to get more wineries. The farmer's nice, but the farmer boosts things the least. And it's only basically like you get to buy 2 more farmers. But that's on top of the ones you get to buy with actions anyway. Then maybe we just make the jump and buy the wineries. And then we can get the enologists. And we could get more if we're prepared to get rid of more wine. We don't have to just get one thing. I'm going to go for... Either way, it's a 1 discount on everything that you're getting. Do these have any extra steps on them? Oh yes, this one had an extra blue step on it, actually. Doesn't change the scores or anything like that, but another thing to think of, when you're discarding some of these tiles, they have their abilities on them and the colour matching and whatever. Some, though, will give you an extra step when they're discarded in the fairs. I think let's get the Enologist one. And then... Does Lacerda basically take one until I choose to pass? Because I know, like, you keep going until everyone passes, but I don't think Lacerda ever... At the fair... Keep going until he gets a tile or the number deck runs out, at which points he passes. Okay, so 6 is gone. He can't take 9. He can't take 8. 2, 1, 2. Can't have the farmers. So with that known, do I want to get another one? Yeah, I'd probably get rid of this 4. Spend this 4 wine. So it helps to have these different estates that... So do I want to be able to buy more vineyards? Get a wine expert, 2 fair points. It's another 4 throughout the game. Might help me secure those fairs. The only problem with the wineries is that they just don't really match up. But going to take the winery action, going to take the vineyard action, and then clearing one out will make them match up. But I can only really make 1 new. I need Lacerda to come in and take one. Which he might do now, because these do get shuffled back in. And there are 2 winery sections, but it just depends which numbers come out when that does happen. Getting an expert for free could really help, especially because if I am going to submit a wine straight away next time, I could get the expert I know is the best. And that might potentially help me more than 2 in the fair. I'm going to go for the wine expert one. So I already discarded the wine. Lacerda is getting rid of 1, 2, 3. Yep. So the wineries one is gone. Do I want to get rid of... This is worth 6 right now. And if it's there next year, it's worth 8 without any other boosting. Do I want to get rid of that? It's my lowest thing right now. So hopefully this 5's getting submitted. Do I want to get rid of that to get 2 extra fair points? Oh, it's tough, isn't it? I get to use it 2 more times. I'm gonna say no. And we can keep going with, but we know Lacerda's gonna get rid of it. He doesn't get anything for that. But basically now the last one goes out. And then we fill up with these multiplier tiles, which we gain in the same way as last time. But they give you points for things. God, let's get my reference of all of the things. So we've got a point for every wine that you've got in your estates at the end of the game. They are worth half their value at the end as well. 2 points for every farmer you've got. A point for every barrel you took from the magnates. Your money is worth different amounts. If you look down here, If you've got 5 money, it's worth 3 points, all the way up to, if you've got 20 money at the end, it's worth 18 points. This changes the value, so 20 money would be worth 25 points instead, if I can get really rich. And then get 4 points for every majority you've got in... An extra 4 points for every majority you've got in the expert. So I've already lost 1 majority. 2 points for every tie, as well as the normal points you get. And this one is you can take the sales action without having to actually go there. Okay, we do now as well shuffle Lacerda's action tiles back into his deck. So he could do anything from now on. We flip any used Magnate or Wine Expert tiles back up. So that would have been another benefit of, getting a Wine Expert earlier. I'd now get to use them again. I probably would have discarded them for the fair though. Okay, so we have done all of this stuff. Your stuff gets flipped. It is a new year and Lacerda is going first, but what's the weather like this year? Well, unfortunately, or fortunately, it's a bit rainy. So the stuff getting produced is worse. Lacerda's got just the right experts to submit for if he submits a wine this year. So we've got Annabelle wants a white wine. Bruno wants a wine that's worth at least 6. Carolina wants a wine from region 1, 3, 7 or 9. So I have got a 3 that is worth more and is white. If I submitted that 8 white wine that I made, which is as good as the... It's as good as what I did last time. It's as good as the red that I was going to submit. But then what's going to happen to the red? I was kind of hoping to submit the red because it's going to go if not. But the red would satisfy B and C. I could do something else first. If I skip over and do the wineries, that would put renown cubes in the regions, which I could then spend when taking the wines to the fair, to get more of those fair points. I could put them each in Douro regions so that there would be 2 cubes to spend on my next action. And just get this done while there is space. And get a cellar as well, put in another renown cube in. Yeah, let's skip over a space. And Lacerda's got $1 there, so I've got to spend 2 money to jump to this action, which of course I am not happy about. Buy wineries. 2 wineries is going to cost me 6 money, which I'm not too crazy about either. So all of a sudden, I'm back down to 8 money. But we do get 2 wineries. I'm going to pop 1 there. I'm going to pop 1 there. That's going to put... Watch Lacerda just spend these. That's going to put 2 cubes in the Douro region. And I'm going to spend my wine expert to get... Now, when Lacerda takes the wine expert action, he gets 1 of each. They're actually just as good. This yellow one is an extra step as well, so it will be 3 steps in the fair. So I'm going to take that one for free with my Magnate tile. The action, by the way, is just pop a renown cube, right? It's just pop a renown cube in a region, which is very nice, but I think 3 fair points is a better use for him. And if you do that, he'll flip back around and you get to use him again. Hey, Joel, the Automa is, it's Lacerda. It's always Lacerda, right? Apart, I think in Kanban it's Mr. Lacerda, right? And Mr. Torzi, that you play against. I don't know why I'm doing things. Okay, that is what I'm going to do. We'll see if all of that gets taken back, though, because Lacerda needs to do his actions first. He's the first player. So he's going to export. So he can go on the... I mean, he hasn't left a space. That's allowed, right? Surely Lacerda gets to bend that rule. And that's a really bad thing to happen for me. That's really bad. I mean, I could have exported. Oh, it says all the movement rules are the same. And the movement rules... Oh, you've got to pick a different action. Yeah, so I think he has to do something different. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But it does say all of the normal rules are the same. But it doesn't, it doesn't talk about... Which is surely a possible thing, right? Since you shuffle the deck. Yeah, when he leaves a space, you put a money in it. What if he doesn't want to leave the space? Is this covered anywhere? Does anyone know? Have I got a... I should be playing against Mr. Grogan. But he always beats me, right? I don't know if he always beats me. He beat the Concordia, though. I should really practice games that I'm going to do a live thing of. Or at least remember how the salt thing worked. That's not why I lost, but it'd probably help, wouldn't it? I'm just having a quick scroll through the forums, see if anyone has made mention of this. Solo question for the fair. Solo of this. What if Lacerda doesn't want to move? Better if I could just get my keyboard a sec. Let's search for the word solo in the rules bit. Just in the subject, please. Solo rule, Lacerda movements. Apologies for this. Sometimes it comes up. I think it makes a difference. It's worth knowing, isn't it? Solo questions for the fair. Solo with the other things. Lacerda's. Impossible actions. No, that isn't asking the same question. Starting player. Press release. Scoring. Okay, I don't think anyone's answered this. I don't want to spend too much time looking on it. So it says in the rules, you can correct me in the comments in the future if I'm wrong about this. It says in the rules that he obeys the normal rules of moving. But what do I do with this export card? Do I not then put that back in the deck? Do you know what? To avoid this entirely, let's shuffle the cards and hope that that doesn't come straight back out. Straight from... Oh, hi, Michael. He takes the action. Okay, then. let's not do that then. And we'll just, I don't know why I'm shuffling him again. He'll go with it then. So he takes the action, which I think ruins our chances of the top grade. So strong. So he takes those cubes away from Duro. Oh no, I haven't put them there yet. I haven't had my turn. So this is actually not... No, it is terrible. It is terrible. So he can't take any cubes because I haven't done anything yet. So he puts his barrel in the highest value space. If several spaces have the highest value, choose the space in the leftmost column. So there are 2 9s available. He chooses this one. So he's got majority here as well now. I think each column majority, as well as substantial points, is an accolade. So we definitely can't get the top grade now because we missed out on getting all the barrels. We would have to get majority in all the columns. So actually we lost that a long time ago. Oh well, we can still strive for the second best ranking, the same one from before. So he's just got 18 points from doing that. So he's on 61. And yeah, he's got 2 majorities. So yeah, the multiplier that gives me points for majorities isn't looking very attractive, is it? Okay, I would like another estate so that I have loads of wines to get rid of for this too. So that was just his first action. It was buried in a post about other movement questions. I'm glad you found it. And then he's going to buy wineries. So this could tilt things. If he buys a winery that I want, I want him to uncover the red in Lisboa or Alentejo. So I think these are all shuffled. 1 does not help me. So yeah, we discard a vineyard and we pop a renown cube in there. And then he goes to 9 isn't in the game. 3, he can't take, so I think keeps choosing another number. 8 is in the game. Is red underneath though? No, it's another white. So unfortunately, it helps me in the sense that he's popped a renown cube in there. In case I want to use that. But he hasn't, so we know the red one's on the bottom. We've still got to get rid of another. So that's true for Lisboa and Alentejo. The reds are at the bottom now. I could do 1. I could uncover 1, have the same region to get to that red. You don't need multiple ones, but yeah, I didn't take that discount winery one either, did I? So my action again. He's had his 2 actions now. We did all of my stuff and paid for it. So I'm just going to repeat the same stuff. Buy those 2 wineries, come up here, pay the extra money, put those cubes in Douro. So I'm... Actually, it wouldn't have made a difference who went first because I'm going to go here and spend those cubes anyway. So, yeah, whoever went, it works out. So am I then going to submit the wine? I'm just thinking, while these experts are out, and I took the yellow wine expert for that reason, and then I'm in the middle and I can kind of go where I like. Oh, Lacerda moved off the export space and should have left money behind. Because yeah, I would like to hire people and get things better and better, but we could do that next time. Let's do a press release. I'm uncertain about this. So, I can only do 2 cubes, so my idea of doing a cellar and then having another cube wouldn't really help. We could do that in the future when we want to do something from Alentejo. Because then we would have 2 cubes and get a +4 on whatever we're doing. Maybe we need to export next time, just to try and get 1 majority, which is the best majority. I don't know. I'm just going to go for, you want to use 1 thing every turn, especially if you're getting a load of things. So I'll use my bonus of getting an enologist. So that costs me 2. And they're running out, to be fair. And so where shall I put them? Yeah, let's just make this one. I think maybe pop it in the white one. But white keeps coming out. Red's got to be a preference at some point. See, I'm coming here passing. So I will be first. Yeah. I change the player order right away, right, for the next year as well. I think I do. So yeah, we are passing and we're going to submit a wine. So this one at the moment is 10. It's a 5 wine in a +5 space. I'm going to spend both cubes from Douro, adding 1 each. Lose a renown cube. So this is a 12 I am submitting to the fair. So 28 points right now. I hope this just puts me clear of Lacerda for this time anyway. So is it a 6 wine? Yes, I can take Bruno's barrel. Is it from region 13709? It's from region 3, so I can take a barrel from Carolina as well. It's going to be good for exporting and stuff. Then, so the tent I want to take, do I want those 3 fair points? I could have a wine expert, which I could use right now. So another 2 points from getting rid of the red and maybe having more choice, having better things. Having been first in turn order for the last round of the game. Or 3 money. Because he's always going to take those 3 fair points. I'm going to take the 3 money. And I'm worried already about doing that. 1, 2, 3. Do I want to get rid of any wine experts? Yes, because yellow is worth 2 this year, and it's got an extra 1 on it. So there's another 3 fair points. Yeah. And that's it, isn't it? I've taken my barrels, gotten rid of the wine. So I think that's that for my action. So maintenance, he's got no barrels here. I'll take back the better one, I think. And then produce the wines. To make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Yep, so we're there. Everything ages. But you, famous song. And then produce all of the wines. So do I want to use the Porto token? Right now, this is -1 on the weather, unfortunately. So 2, 4, 5, 6. Or do I want to reassign? No, I don't think I do. So this is a 7, -1 for the weather. So it's a 6. Do I want to use my Porto or save it? I think save it for the last fair. Producing wine here, so it's ready for the last fair, maybe. I'm going to hang on to that Porto. So it's a 6 I'm producing, which is still decent, and it's in the cellars and everything. Then over here we're producing a 2, 3, 4, 5, -1 is a 4. And a 2, 3, 4, -1 is 3. I could spend the Porto, but no. And over here it's just a 2. Which actually, with the weather, can still be boosted by things, but there's a wine to give up. Fair, isn't it? Okay. So now, I believe I am the first player for having taken that pass action. Have I shuffled the numbers? I think I always shuffle the numbers. So what are we going to do? I do want to hire. But wasn't I saying I need to export? I mean, looking at wines that are about to disappear, maybe I just want to export and sell I've got 4 barrels. Export an 8 and a 7. Secure that column. It doesn't matter if Lacerda goes here again. Really, it is 8 points to him, but I'm not getting the 10 points for the column anymore. So I don't care so much. Yeah, let's export, which we know he's not going to do again, so we want to do this one first. Have to pay her money. Do I want to do a seller first? Because it will boost the value of wines. I think, yeah, let's do that seller magnate tile action. It's also going to pop a renown cube in, isn't it? Wherever I put this. If I spent both of the things, 1, 3, 5, 6, it's still not enough to export. I don't think it particularly matters. In terms of doing things right now. But it means that this... I need to sell a 7 and an 8. This 8 could stick around, yeah. So potentially that's a renown cube that Lacerda's just going to spend. Enduro there. But I will use this 7 and this 6 plus 1 plus the cube, 7. Eight, I mean. Yeah, so 7 and an 8 to export down here and get me those 15 points. And that 12-point majority at the end. So at least that's something. So 24. Spent some good wines for that. I think I just put that in the 9. So that's my exporting. And then I think, am I selling? And this is at 8 right now. I suppose I don't particularly need to. We could go get some wine experts for the final round. And we'd get to use their powers, really. Because we're not going to use it until this last round, or maybe for the last fair and not even spend an action. So we don't know what colours are going to come up. I can only buy 2. But their actions, adding cubes to... I haven't got a nice shot of all of my... Adding renown cubes to regions. Don't pay taxes for going into a space with other players, or the taxation marker. It's not going to be there next time, though. Oh, I did want... Now, jumping over there is going to cost me 2 money. I would have the 5 to get the staff. Because then that's 2 better wines I'm producing, isn't it? And it's 3 money to go over there, and then I wouldn't have enough for the staff because the taxation marker's there. So I want to have the staff, because then there's 2 more wine productions that are going to have nicer wines. Going over to buy a winery is a vineyard is expensive no matter what I do. That taxation mark is just in a really annoying place right now. I bet he's going to go there and take the staff away. So I can't afford either to go and get 2 wineries who fill up the estates, because that's accolades having full estates, and it's a scoring criteria for some stuff. Having more wineries, get that last estate so I produce more wines to get rid of for more multiplier tokens for the end of the game. But I would spend 2 get in there, and so I'd only have 5 money, and so I could only buy 1 vineyard, whichever one it is. Maybe it's just going to be experts. I think that's you can move your wineries around. Yeah. That's not actually on my little reference over here. And you just get the 2 better ones. I wouldn't get to use them both, would I? Because this is my second action now. I'd only get to use one of the abilities. Kind of after my turn. Getting cellars isn't very exciting. I could afford that, but then I wouldn't be able to afford to skip right down and sell stuff. Or we just sell stuff. Because, yeah, we're not thinking about this 3 over here. It's worth a lot, and I don't necessarily want to just squander it, but money's kind of sitting there, isn't it? Let's sell, because it's gone if I don't do something with it. After all that, I'm going and doing something. It's just been wear off. So I'm selling an 8 red. I've got no cubes to boost it with. But at least this is going to open up big options for the final bit, isn't it? And then, do we sell this really good white? It's worth 9 right now, but it's going to go to the plus. It's going to be worth more next time. Having that money for those final actions, though, and maybe more money than Lacerda. And this is going into the 9, and maybe we can submit to this to the fair. Yeah, let's sell the 9. 9 white. The Antejo, we'd be selling for just 3. Yeah, so don't bother with that. 9 white. So we're on 24 cash, which is a lot more than Lacerda right now. That's a couple of accolades, I think, having more money. Just, yeah. Wish I'd had more money to do more things, but I probably won't need to come and do this next time. So Lacerda is passing. Okay, this might be good. Oh no, this is still last turn's thing, isn't it? Oh, it's still 6. And he can't submit one of his experts, although his red expert is better. Okay, so when he submits the thing, he's doing a press release. So Bruno wants a 6 wine. So he's at 20. 2 region cubes from my regions. He's unfortunately going to spend the Alentejo cube. He will take the +3. And he can discard a red for 2. It doesn't have an extra 1 on it. And that's it. He's way behind in the fair. Hopefully, this means I won't have to put as much effort in the last round. That's his first thing. And his second thing is going to be wineries down here. So he doesn't leave things there. He was up in the corner, though, wasn't he? So he should have a money up in there. Okay. So it's numbers, isn't it? It's a numbers game. And there's going to be number 1, which does not help me. Come on, do as a 6 or an 8, please. 9 isn't in the game, mate. You can't have that. How does Lacerda work if you're playing with the expansions and it's got like higher numbered regions? 8, yes. So that puts the cube back that you took. So I'll let you off that, and it uncovers the red. And it would fill in that region for me if I go and take that. That is an action to go and do that, though. So I don't know if I will do it. Then, maintenance. I will get my red barrel back, and then production. I don't think I want to move my people about. It's another -1 on the old weather. So that's going to be Same as before, isn't it? So everything moves along. And that's going to be 5, 7, 6 on here. 2, 5, 4, yeah. 2, 3, 4, 3. Unless, oh, well, this is the time, we are going to produce wine one more time. So do I save it then and do the press release at the very end? Probably. Because it's going to be the same weather no matter what. It's probably less, unless you can't do anything, there's probably no point doing that. See, I probably want to produce a great wine and then submit it with the free press release. Yeah, I won't spend it right now. Because it's too late for it to get into the good sections of the cellar anyway. And just a 1 down here. And then we move on to the fair. So everyone's done a press release. We're okay on that. Determine the ranking. Well, look who hasn't tried his hardest. 12 points for me, 4 for Lacerda. So 36 to 65 is winning by miles. Yep. Oh, and actually, we should be getting a trophy disc of an unused colour every time one of us wins the fair, just to keep track of that, because that's accolades in the solo game. You only need to do that for solo. Adjust the order of play. So I'm going to stay first player, actually, because I took the earlier numbered booths. And then we go back onto the logo, and I will start choosing the magnate things. So if I can hang on to some good cash, do I want to take the your cash is worth a lot more? You want to have 20 left, really, to get the... You know, that's 7 extra points if you've got, like, the highest number. So I want to... In terms of which wine am I going to give up? I'm going to give up the 1, aren't I? I've got cubes that can boost the ones, I guess, but... Now, every barrel... Hopefully I'm going to get both barrels... That's still only 5 points. Every wine you've got at the end, I might not have many. Every farmer, I've only got 1. I mean, I do want to get a lot of these, but maybe I want to get more of the ones that are going to come out after the last fair. There's also the action one that I could get, but you're only getting 2 more actions, so you can't use all of these magnate things anyway. And you get 1 more action that can be anything after the final fair. So that could be going and selling wines. Just concentrate on making my wines better with my last actions and then sell at the very end so I've got the money for this. Yeah. Money is worth more points. Lacerda is taking, hopefully, number 1, because if he can get fewer of these, it'll work out great. So 1, 2, 3 is gone. 2... One's for having majorities. He just gets 10 points, so he has actually done that, but he gets 10 points for every one of them. I'll get rid of my other 1 wine, and let's have... I could just buy 2 more farmers. I know that that's not going to boost the wines as much as buying an enologist. It's cheaper, though, and that's more points than I could secure. Last action, farmers... vineyards, or farmers sell farmers. I don't know. I'm going to take the farmers one anyway. It's worth the most points, I think. Lacerda. 6, yep. So every wine left over isn't an option for me. So just every barrel. That's only a 5-point thing. The only thing is, I probably want to take it because then Lacerda can't have it. And that's 10 points he can't have. Even though it's only going to score me at most 5, if he gets it, and the next card might be number 1. I am going to do that. I'm not going to go back on this. It would have been 4. He would have taken that. So, yeah. The only one, he would just keep going through his deck until he found the 1, because it's the only option left. So, yeah. I think that's the better thing to do. Although I don't want to give up that wine, I think that worked out better. So we refill the display with the final things. And I don't think they all come out, do they? So point for every wine expert. A point for every one of these tiles that I've got. Should I? I think I've got the wrong magnate tiles. So take backsies on all of this. I've actually done the opposite of what... So these two do go in the game, definitely. Our first 2 choices were sound. But I've actually picked the wrong kind, embarrassingly. These were the ones in the remove from the game pile. Glad I caught that. So I was just thinking, none of the ones from the playthrough have come out. How's that possible? Could you pick the wrong ones up, mate? So we'll just say, what's the first number that Lacerda comes up with? 3. So his was in space 3. I can't remember exactly where mine was. We'll say mine was in space 4. Whoops-a-daisy. Okay, so they're basically better, but they take barrels right to have on there. And I think they only score if they've got the barrels on. Just double check on that. I think you got to have them barrels. Endgame multiplayer tiles, only the ones with barrels on them. Oh, that's in the reference book. I don't really like... I know that it probably helps because there's 2 different versions of the game you can play, but I don't like it being kind of all split up across multiple rulebooks. Oh, you must have a barrel to buy one of these. So... does this mean Lacerda... Oh, one of these was out as well, wasn't it? So that should still be in the deck. Does that mean Lacerda's getting... like, potentially 3 of these, and I can only get 1? She's got the barrels available, hasn't he? Does he doesn't spend barrels on these, does he? So what's best for me now, then? 3 points for every enologist. I've got 2, and I can get more. I can afford to get more. 3 points for every farmer. Of course, the enologists are going to require wineries. The farmers don't. I'd like both, but I've only got 1 barrel. And so, do I have to put a barrel on that one? And I can't get it. I can't even get a second one. To buy a multiply tile, you must have a barrel. The barrel can't be moved unless you've got a wine expert that lets you. And if the barrel isn't on there at the end of the game, you don't get anything. So I can't get another one. So does that mean Lacerda is getting those 3? Because if he just keeps drawing, and he will get them. Is that right? Anyone know? Oh, he spends barrels as well. So that's a little bit of a plus. So he is getting another one, which is unfortunate. Answer from Vital in the forums. So he gets that, but that doesn't really matter, does it? I suppose which one? 5. He takes the one for those. It does matter, really, because actually, those are going to be there and available at the end of the game. So we just refill. So points for so 2 points for every wine that's left. So I want to have my barrels available, really, so I can have. I think at most I can have 3. 2 points for every wine, 3 points for every farmer, 3 for every cellar. I'll definitely have at least 1 cellar, so that's a good 9-point tile. 2 points for every one of these. I've already got 4, so that would be the 5th. That would be worth 10. Yeah, 2 points for every barrel you've gained, so that would be 8. 2 points for every... Yeah, so those 2 are the ones I want the most, I think. Maybe the farmer one, but yeah, I'm going to have 3. As long as I've got wines to get rid of for it. So I should have one of my wines back, because I could only take 1 tile as it happened. Although I could have taken this, right? And that wouldn't have been a barrel. Because it's an action. And then, yeah. Why not have done that? Why leave that for Lacerda? He doesn't get points from it anyway. So I might as well do something. Hey, Paolo, how's it going? It is a beautiful board. Ian O'Toole, as always, with Vinhos Deluxe Editions. So, it is now the final year. Only 1 year before a fair now. And, let's see what the weather's going to be like. It's going to be a bit cloudy, so the wine's only 1 better than normal. We don't care about the value anymore, because Bruno's gone. That's really unfortunate. Well, it's on me for not diversifying as much. I am only going to be able to get 1 barrel, and it means I need to submit a white wine. Because it needs to come from region 1, 4, 7, or 8. And be a white wine. The only white wine region I've got is region 3. And that's kind of on me for not diversifying enough. I probably should have got this estate going as well. Which I still can. I could use that to my advantage. You know, all of these reset. I've got 2 actions, so I can activate 2 of these. Oh, the enologist one's gone. That's annoying. Hey, Monica, how's it going? Okay, I want money, because I've got that as my barrel thing. If I am prepared to produce a bit of a rubbish wine, we could buy vineyards. And then they would produce in production, and then I just don't do the press release, which I wasn't going to do anyway. But I was going to produce a really nice wine. I have got quite a nice lead over him. So he's going to produce an 8. If he does the press release, he'll go first. Oh, and all of his cards need shuffling back in, don't they? If he does the press release, he'll go first and get an 8, 11. He hasn't actually picked up any experts in the game. So he wouldn't be able to submit any of them. He'd get an 11. And so if I got, say, region 1, it would produce a 2, 3 value wine. I would get +2 because that's the region's bonus. And if the cubes are still there, I could spend both of them for a 6 value wine. He might pick up wine experts, of course, and if he picks up a red, that's really bad. I'm going to do my... So first bonus before my first action, get a wine expert. Red is 3 extra points. So I'm going to take this one that's got an extra point built in as well. And now that means if Lacerda does come around and get them, at least that one's gone. And green hasn't got a bonus point as well. So he would get 4 extra fair points, but I've got myself 4 extra fair points by getting that expert. Now, actions. I do want the barrel, because having 2 of those barrels means I can get 3 of these magnate tiles for scoring at the end. And then last action could just be selling wines, couldn't it? So we go for vineyards and then go and get farmers. We've got a bonus action of doing a sell action. Or I could get sellers because I want to do sellers, don't I, as my second magnate action. The other regions aren't really going to help me very much, are they? Okay, I'm going to come over here. So I pay the money because he's there. Oh, and the taxation marker's there. It's going to eat into... Oh! But I can't sell wines because I'm not going to have the barrels to sell any wines. So I don't want to spend money. We don't really need that money there because he's there. I want 20 money at the end because that's 25 points to me. But then that only gives me $4 to do actions with. And my last action is definitely not going to be sell things because I've planned to spend all of my barrels. So I don't know what the last action would be. This is what I did in the original playthrough as well. Made it so that I had nothing left to do in the last action. Although in that case it's because I didn't have any money. And now I don't want to spend... I've got the money, but I don't want to spend it. I could, go to the fair and get the 3 money. And then I'd have 7 to spend. I couldn't buy 2 vineyards because with 7 money, one of them's got to be from there, and getting the one region is enough. You've got to buy things from 2 different regions. 7 money just doesn't work out with that at all. I've got no barrels to do anything with. If I have 15 money, I still get 18 points. So that would give me 9 right now. And then I might just have to... Oh dear. So I can still get that 3 money, even if I submit the wine with the free press release. Because Lacerda won't take that. If the 3 points is on offer, he'll take the 3 fair points. If I want both barrels, I've got to get that vineyard, basically. And either that one's too far away, this would put me next to buying sellers. I don't know what I would then do with that. It would make it better for submitting, wouldn't it? Well, the idea of going next to this one means I could hire people if I was going to get the farmers are worth 3 points thing. I don't really want to do any of those things that are going to cost a load of points, though, because it's probably going to be based on, like, all the wines you've got left at the end of the game. It'll probably be what I'll go for. To a maximum of 16. So I'll have 9 wines. No, I won't, because I have to discard wines to take those tiles. I'm going to jump up here, so that's 2 money. Buy wineries. So we're definitely buying Region 1s. Are we? Region 4 is more expensive and isn't as good for the fair. So yes, we'll definitely buy Region 1. It's white wine. So I'll pop a disc. What do these discs do, by the way? I'm not sure why we put the discs in these regions now. Now I think about it. So that goes in there. I make myself a 2 wine. That's going to be 2 better for the fair. I pop another renown cube in there. Do I just want to leave it at that then? Or... No, full regions is an accolade. It's not going to get me points. It's going to... If I boost the Lisboa region... Oh, not Lisboa, it's Alentejo. It's not going to fill it, though. So there's no point buying another one. Oh, I don't think I'm getting any accolades for all of this business. I think I've messed up. Right. We'll just buy one, then. On the... Thinking of save all of your money. So that's action 1. I desperately hope that I can get the sellers are worth a load of points thing. I'm going to use my magnate tile for a seller. And I'm going to put it in my new region. Because then the wine's 1 more better, so 1 more fair point. And to be honest, I'm putting in a pretty rubbish wine, so I might need it where I can get it. A cube goes into the region, but if Lacerda takes an action... What happens if Lacerda tries to take an action now, because he's got no barrels? So presumably he can't do these actions. Oh, this has come up. Okay, so if he does happen to do an action that would require barrels, like exporting or selling, he doesn't do the action, but he still discards the renown cubes. You do whatever Vital says, you do whatever you can with the action. So he wouldn't actually get to place any more barrels. So he can't have those 8 points, basically. But yeah, if he takes either of those actions, he'll get rid of all of those cubes, which would be a bit gutting. So I think that's all. That's my first action, isn't it? Is going and getting those wineries. And then, are we buying the sellers? If I spend 6 money, that's potentially more points. What if we don't do this at all? Big take back city here. I don't want your region. I don't want your wine. I'll submit one of these white wines and still just get 1 barrel. Because on the topic of saving money, which is the watchword, right? I've just noticed this action's free to get to. So I need another 2 that I spent to get to that action. What was the other magnet tile that I used? Get a free person. Because the red that I uncovered is move barrels. So I could grab another barrel from here by using this expert. So just by one. Do they have to be different? I don't think so. So in case he gets them. This is get a winery for a 1 discount. So I still could get that winery if I wanted. But I would be then getting that barrel instead of flipping this over and buying another cellar. We could just buy 2 cellars though. Well, this one down here is buy a winery for 1 cheaper. Buy a vineyard for 1 cheaper. So in a roundabout way, I might just end up doing the exact same thing, but cheaper. Although I suppose I've spent 2 for these 2 experts. It's hurting my brain. I've taken another extra red movement space away that Lacerda might get. Yeah, I'm going to use this, but then that's not getting cellars. Or barrels. So there's no point, because the barrel I would get from getting all of that winery and stuff, I could just get here for free and not spend any money. Yeah, grab a barrel, and then I get the other one back for free in the maintenance phase anyway. And is the second action now going to be, I've got a barrel, I could sell some wine. That would be a massive waste, wouldn't it? I suppose with the last action then, I would have money to burn. At the moment, I've got 7 money that I could spend above and beyond my 20. So why not go and get barrels, get cellars then? Buy 2 cellars. Because they cost 3 each. There's no cost to go to that action. Boost up regions 6 and 8. The ones would be worth more. It might make a difference at the very end. And they get a renown cube in each. I wish actually I'd kept one of those wines from 8. I suppose it makes no difference. Selling a white gets me 1, just like selling one from 8 would get me 1. Okay, that's my 2 actions then. After a lot of messing about, I do apologise. Lacerda is exporting. We don't care that he's taking cubes away now, though. Leaves some money behind in there, but it doesn't matter. So he takes the cubes from the regions with the most. Place a barrel? No. Score points? No. Just takes the cubes away. Oh, what's Dragon Keepers like? I still never got around to getting Dragon Keepers. Hey, Leslie. On Mars is your favourite and makes the most sense to you. I think that's like the... I suppose it's not strange. That is the thing about Vital Lacerda games, that I feel like the gallerist is was the easiest to learn, was the smoothest, works the best for me for getting into. And Kanban wasn't like overly difficult to learn, but I feel like it's a cut above. But Rach, a partner I play everything with, for her, that is by far the easiest. To the point where like she doesn't really like Vital Lacerda. She loves Kanban, and I think it's in her top 10. But I think every single other Vital Lacerda game she does not like at all, and just they don't click with her, they don't work for her at all. And to the point where On Mars and Weather Machine, she's just like, I think we got halfway through On Mars, she's like, no, I'm not getting this. And Weather Machine, I think she just knew. I played both without her, actually. He's getting vineyards that I don't think matters to me. Where's his number cards? Oh, they're up here for some reason. He's getting vineyards from 5. That doesn't matter, does it? That doesn't make any difference whatsoever. And 2, which also makes no difference to anyone whatsoever. Which is kind of good, actually, because he wasted his last year. But it means that he doesn't get this bonus action, by the way. So I don't know if I'm going to have anything to do. Oh, bear with me a sec. There is a parcel. I'll be back promptly. Hello. I love the gallerist, though. What have I missed out on? No, it's nothing board game related. It is. Marty has been a little bit poorly. Well, it was just like he had his vaccinations. We lapsed his vaccinations, unfortunately, in one of the lockdowns, and realised that we'd done that. So he's had to have his vaccinations from the start rather than just having a booster every year. And yeah, for a couple of days, he was quite poorly. He's back to normal now, but he's really off his food, and he's a little overweight. So Rachel's got him one of those like a trial of you tell it about your cat and they tailor a food system around it. So we're trying one of those out. Because he's an incredibly hungry cat. There is never a time when Marty is not desperate for food. Right. So, maintenance. I got that barrel back. Producing wines. Do I want to move anything around? Actually, my white wine. It doesn't matter that my white wine's a better value. Oh, it will for the fair, though. Do I want to move things around? So we're getting +1 on the wine. You kind of want to think about, actually, you get half of the value of the wine in points, rounded down. So we're making, you want to kind of have even numbers if you can arrange these. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that's fine. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is fine. 2, 3, 4, 5 is not. 2, 3, let's put the farmer over here. Although we are going to be using some of these wines for tiles. So maybe there was no need to be that in-depth about it. Hey, they're all even numbers now. And while I was working out the numbers, I should have maybe... Or you just, put everything on one thing to make it even better. Let's leave it like this. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, everything needs to move along first as well. And when they move along, that's helping me. 8. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thanks to the weather. 2, 3, 4. Thanks to the weather. And then 2, 3, 4 again. So yeah, no terrible wines actually. Now I've put all of these cellars in. And that's that, isn't it? Yeah, Marty's kind of been on a diet for years as well. But yeah, we've probably loosened up over time and given him more than he needs. So yeah, he's indoors as well, so it's easier for him to, like, he's not running about as much as he, although he runs about plenty in here. Yeah, he's not had any. He has had a treat today, but yeah, he expects more. He's also like since like not been eating any of the wet foods he's been given, so hopefully he gets a trick around this. And he doesn't realise yet that he's got to go back to the vets in about 2 weeks and you have to have 2 jabs. So sorry, Marty. Oh, we want to do the port, don't we? So the port only really matters for the final. Yeah, we don't want to have this at the end. So either this could be 11. The end game value isn't boosted, is it, by your seller? I don't think it is. Correct me on that, but I don't think it is. So actually, leave the farmer there and spend the Porto, and then this is an 8. I can only see 7s in there. There's an 8. And then this would actually be a 3, but that's okay because we'll just get rid of the 3s. Yeah, the 3s can all go on tiles, hopefully, and the 8 can be submitted for the fair because it's quite a high number. And there's the last Porto spent. Okay, that's wine production. Now, I haven't submitted a wine. I want it to either be from region 1, 4, 7, or 8, or a white wine. I kind of don't want to submit this one because this is worth 8, so 4 endgame points. Whereas this one here is still worth 6 at the fair. Lacerda is going to submit an 8. If I leave the 3 fair points for him, 11, and he has not got the right experts because he hasn't picked any up. So he's only getting 11. So his final fair points are 36. So just submitting this wine and nothing else, and I was going to do a red expert as well, is enough. It doesn't have to be a really fancy wine. I could just submit this one. But yeah, the 3s are getting discarded anyway, aren't they, for things? So I'm just going to submit that. That's a 6. No cubes to spend. So 40 on the old fair points. I probably want, so I can do something with that last action, do I want to grab some money? Then I would have 4 money for a final action, which could be buy 2 farmers. We don't know which tiles we're exactly going to get, do we? I'd be gutted if he gets the... He hasn't got any barrels. He's not getting any more. So there's actually the downside. Oh, look, it's as if this game's been designed, isn't it? There's your balancing. He's getting loads of points from the exporting, but he's left himself in a position where I've got free reign over which 3 I want from here. See, if I get the 3 money now, I'll be able to go over there and buy 2 farmers, which is another 6 points. Yeah. Oh, I didn't... Yeah, in submitting my wine as well, it's a white wine, so Annabella's happy with me. Just wondering why I didn't have didn't have 3 barrels. Yes. Then Lacerda is submitting an 8. He'll take the +3. And he can't discard anyone. Yeah, I could have discarded this. It would have been 3, 4 more points. It doesn't really matter though, does it? Where you are. You're winning or you're not. So, the final thing, I'm so behind on points though, is this going to catch me up? So I'm on 51, 15 points for winning the final fair, and 5 for Lacerda. 51 to 70 right now. The majorities, he's going to pull ahead even further. Can the multiplier tiles make a difference? So adjust the order of play. Still me first. Discs go off, and then we buy these tiles. Lacerda's got no barrels, so he can't do anything. So definitely, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiles. So 2 points for each with no limit is surely what I want. So that costs me a wine. One of these threes. And then he's got no barrels, so he can't claim one. 2, 3, 4 cellars is 12 points. I can't get any more, though, is the downside, I guess. I'll take that. Discard another 3. And then, so what's going to be worth the most? Every wine, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 points. Because I'm not going to be selling or exporting because I've got no barrels. So that'd be 12 points. If I got another 2 farmers, that would be 9 points in total, so not as many. I only got 4 barrels, so that's only worth 8. And even if I picked up 2 wine experts, they would only be worth 10 points, so not enough. Oh, thanks for being here, Steve. We're going to be finished in 30 minutes. Yeah, this is the final fair. I can only take 1 more tile, and I get 1 more special action. So I think we're there. I'm going to take the wines remaining. Oh, but then that in itself is a... takes a wine away. Hmm. Because we're not producing any more. Can't get any more of these. Just thinking, what's the last action going to be? I've got money to do things, but not a lot of money. Maybe I just buy a winery, 3 money, and I fill up another thing for another accolade. And just hope that the points are enough. Are they, though? Or we go and buy a winery for 3 and get a cellar on it for another guaranteed 3 points. It depends. Like, do you want the points? Are you confident that you've won? Or do you want the accolades to get a better ranking? Because beating Lacerda in points is 4 accolades. I'm not confident I've beaten him in points. I think I need to discard a wine for that multiplier tile. Final action is going to be, I'm just going to buy 1 winery for 3 money. Vineyard, I mean. Cheapest one, Minho. Oh, they just produce a wine as well. So there's 2 points coming back in. And I can't put a cellar on there. But then, magnate action. 1 money for a seller. And that's that. Yeah, the points at the end are for the quality of the wine, which is the number on the tile, not boosted by anything. So yeah, that doesn't play into it. Yeah, that's it then. So, final scoring, Lacerda gets 10 points for each endgame tile. 90 points. So I get... That tile just changes the endgame points, doesn't it? It's not in addition to. Yeah. So we use these values instead. I've got 20 money left, which gets me 25 points. Or maybe I did have enough. Oh, but I would have got 18 anyway, so that's 7 points that's earned me. Maybe that wasn't worth doing. I've definitely got more money than him, though. That's going to be some accolades. Then, so yeah, score your money. Half the quality of your wines rounded down, so that's going to be 4, 7, 10, 13, 17, 18 points. Yeah, definitely had enough points. Probably didn't need to do this. So that would have been 94. Then majorities in the export area. Oh, actually. Yeah, this isn't in the Lacerda section of the notes. So I get 12 points for this majority. So that puts me on 106. Lacerda gets both of these, which is 18 points. So that puts him on 108. Now I'm still gonna win. And then points for your multiplier tiles. So we've had the money one. 2 points for every magnate or multiplier tile. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 points. So yeah, the best thing to do probably at the end was to just get one winery, which was my budget. And that would have filled that, and I would have got another accolade for that, I think. Then 3 points for every seller. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. 2 points for every wine. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Puts me on 149. So yeah, should not have been worrying about the points at all. So award yourself accolades. So I am, as I did in the playthrough, I'll use the fair track to count how many accolades I've got. So more points than Lacerda is 4 accolades. More money than Lacerda, he actually only earned 12, 14, 16 in the game. So my 20 does that. More money is 2 accolades. Trophies from fairs, I won all 3 fairs. I didn't take a third trophy, did I? So I get another accolade from there. Every estate that's got all 3 slots filled is worth an accolade each. So yeah, 4 accolades missing there by not doing that. Could have got another accolade if I had gone to that thing. But then, more points, more endgame points in majorities in the export area than Lacerda is another accolade. Got locked out of that quite early on. Should have maybe been concentrating on exports. But I didn't know he was going to be so aggressive on the exports. And then none of your barrels left in the magnates area is an accolade. So I don't think... Oh, actually, yes, 10 accolades or more. I've got 10 accolades. Wine producer, you're really getting the hang of this, which is the same rank I got last time. You need 15 accolades for wine magnate. The wine industry needs more leaders with your business acumen. But yeah, the maximum you can get is 4 for beating him points-wise. 2 for more money, so that's 6. There's 3 trophies, so that's 9. Filling up all of your estates is 5 more, so that's 14. More export points, 15. All of your barrels, 16. So you have to get 15 of the possible 16 accolades to get that top ranking. And yeah, we're some way off doing that. But I'm glad that, yeah, we did a decent job, didn't we? Of, well, points-wise, of fending off Lacerda. But yeah, it's, as with these Vital's solo modes, it's not all about beating them in points, because you could probably do that. Yeah, I could only see though where I would get one more thing. I probably though, looking at the points that I've got left, I probably didn't need to be as desperate for that point scoring tile. Although I didn't want Lacerda to have it. I don't know if he could have had it. Yeah, there's probably a couple of situations where I could have been taking wineries. I could have dug into this 20 money. At the end, probably instead of getting this estate at all, got two wineries. That would have been two more accolades. But yeah, it wouldn't have gotten me into the thing. As soon as, right at the beginning of the first wine fair, when I couldn't get both barrels, so that means you're not getting all the barrels. And then I think the turn after the fair, Lacerda locked in two of the columns, or maybe it was further in than that. Right then, you know you can't get that top ranking. But it's very difficult to get. It's difficult in the gallerist as well to get master gallerist. But hey, that's what keeps us coming back, right? As well as it being great. Hey, Skigs 20. Another Lacerda game. And your wallet. I hope you enjoy this. You can go back and watch the playthrough. Because you're coming in, unfortunately, when we just finished. I am going to go now. I will be back, though, in about 2 and a bit hours. Rach and I are going to be here, and we're going to do just a fireside chat without a fire, but with the chat and stuff. Hopefully Marty will be here, zonked out like he is now. And yeah, it's the channel's anniversary today. Slickerdrips is 6 years old. These videos and everything that I'm doing are 6 years old now. And yeah, come and celebrate with us. It's 8 p.m. UK time, BST. And if you like what I do, if you've liked any of it over the last 6 years, patreon.com/slickerdrips. Your support would be massively appreciated. I do realise, to join in at the very end of a month isn't ideal because you get charged when you join and then you'll get charged at the start of a new month. So yeah, if you want to wait till the beginning of May, no problem there. Or if you would just like to donate some money or give us a little tip or something, Ko-fi, ko-fi.com, you can see that, can't you? /slickerdrips is where you can do that too. Thank you so much to everyone that has done that and that just watches and supports all of it in general. We'll be back very, very shortly. So see you tonight, everyone, and thanks for joining me for Vinhos as voted for by patrons as well. We'll have some more as voted for things later on. But yes, going to make tea now. Hey, thanks, Skigs, for subscribing. Some of the robot things are working. It's just the robot doesn't respond to commands anymore. Anyway, thanks a lot, everyone, and I will see you in a couple of hours. Bye, bye, bye.